but I never know if everything's all set. Oh, what is this mess? All right. Boys, welcome back. Today we have a very special stream. We have a brand new 2022 BMW M3 Competition Edition. This thing is pretty mean looking. So we're going to be doing 50% ceramic over the whole thing, except the windshield. I gotta remember. We haven't done a bunch of windshields lately, so we're not doing the windshield. That is going to be probably something at a later date here, but it's not a for sure thing. We'll see how the rest of it goes. So, how you doing? I also I gotta set this up really quick. I got the new GoPro 10 Black. And I gave it a little test. It's good. I think there is actually going to be a bump here. I'm surprised. I was disappointed with the 9. Been using the 8 ever since, and now the 10 came out. Went out, got it right away, because you never know unless you try it. So we had to get that. We had to get a new media mod. So I'm going to plug this guy in here. We're going to turn this on. It's got a screen on the front. Wow, so advanced. And let's see. So I think it starts up a little bit quicker too, which is nice. So hopefully there's less bugginess with what I got to do here. But we'll see. Why do I think that? There we go. No, it's working. It's all working. That's good to know. Greetings from Cyprus. Welcome, Andy. How you doing? I got my chat software started a little bit late, so if I missed you, my bad. Greetings from Fort Worth. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we're going to switch this to the GoPro setup here really quick. Do that. That, to me, is smooth. Look at that. I think there's an actual quality bump. We're gonna find out as we get through this if there's any quirks or things we need to watch out for. Had to tweak a couple small settings, nothing major though. Mostly like just telling it not to shut off after 5 minutes. There's also a mode I want to play around with called Horizon Lock. I don't think we're gonna use it, but it keeps everything level as I'm walking around. So if I bobble my head a little bit, it doesn't change. This one is actually bigger too, so that's fun. But to me, I don't know if the other one it was outputting 60. I think this one is actually looking a little bit better, and it's smoother. I think this is the one to get. Ooh, but look at this car, man. Ah, the interior. So I spent some time already and prepped a lot of this because there's just some things that I wanted to spend a little bit extra time doing before we went live, and I didn't want to have to worry about headset bumping into things. So we put a soak rope all the way down here, which is something we don't normally do. That was a special request. We put towel covering as much as the dash without getting in the way. That's kind of a difficult thing. Extra tape on all the door panels, especially because there's some nice stitching that goes across the top. And I wanted to make sure this thing is going to be as protected as we possibly can. When we get cars like this, we always do what we can to protect. But something like this, a little extra particular, we'll go a little bit more above and beyond than we already do. So let's get this thing going. That button right there. And then I'm glad that we added all tape, because that saves some time right now. I mean, I already lost a bunch of time because I had to do all this, but that was part of the job. You know what I mean. One thing we also did was we removed the third brake light. So removing the brake light was pretty straightforward, like most BMWs. Again, this is just sometimes one of those things that I like to do ahead of time, just so I'm not fumbling around with it while we actually go live. So most of this is going to be just putting in the extra work to make sure this job turns out as good as we can. Because there's little things. These door panels, the side seals, they're a little bit more unique. They're a little bit wider. They're going to get in our way a little bit. Little. They're not super tight, but they do kind of jut out quite a bit. So same thing with the back quarters. They're not exactly what I would say the most difficult, but you have to be a little particular. You see that little edge right there? You have enough to cover all the way around, but you don't have enough to be sloppy with it. So let's go ahead and start scrubbing this down. And we got a fresh tank here. Where is my flat squeegee? I got the one over here. I guess we're gonna have to use that. I was scrambling like a mad person, trying to make sure that I just have everything right. Because this place has been, like, I don't know, we've had a bunch of jobs to do, so. What is the black hybrid squeegee you have? What? What black one? The one hybrid squeegee that I know of is the Fusion hybrid that I have, but it's not black. Or the handle is. You're my boy. So what do you think? Does this look the same or better? Oh, in the drawer? I'd have to check. How often do you have to fill the tank up with air? You only have to fill it up when you're out of air. So if you leave about like a quarter at the top for air, and you fill it up to like 65 to 100, it'll be good through the entire tank. Pressure will start to be a little bit less towards the end, but it'll still give you enough until it's gone. Super.
Samuel Montes super chatted $1.99.
Samuel with the 2, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What's the plastic that you cover the door panels? That's called carpet shield. It's just a long, tacky enough plastic roll. It does pretty well with door panels. We found though that having something a little bit smoother to stick to, so like some door panels just aren't very tacky, so that's one reason we do the extra tape on it, because it's not quite there. But it seems to get the job done. All right, so we got that. We have to do these quarter windows too. These are oddly shaped quarter windows. do you charge more for these nicer cars just for the extra care? No, I didn't. But as I was prepping it, I'm starting to think that I need to. But you gotta understand, it's gonna be framed a little different. It's not just gonna be like blah 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 for the car and then blah 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 for. I just want to be pretty clear about this. It would just kind of be a higher price in general. But yeah, we didn't. We charged. He wanted ceramic anyways, so $450. I think I'm gonna do this one a little bit different. I'm gonna shift it back. Have a question about the GoPro 10. Does it film 4K 60 in super view? Ooh, I'm not sure. I can't check yet, but maybe towards after the stream I could. It's definitely something we can answer soon. I just have it set up right now, not recording, with HDMI out. Yeah, because when you get into those higher resolutions, the wider you go, it just doesn't work. So I'd be curious too. It's a good question. I use a GoPro literally HDMI out now. That's it. I change a couple of small settings, and then it's HDMI out. I tried to do the live stream off the GoPro for the longest time, and it works well if you're just going straight to YouTube, but there's still quality issues. This, I think, I don't know. We'll look at it afterwards, too. Right now, it definitely seems smoother, so that's good. It looked like an expensive squeegee. Which one? I don't know. There's I got a whole bunch of them in here. Will you offer Apex to customers? Yeah, we're already starting to a little bit. It's not going to be a quick thing. It's like something we brought up in this quote, just because this guy was already asking about ceramic coatings, and he wanted ceramic window tints, and it's like, well, hey, we actually just got a brand new one if you want the best of the best. But I still want to play around with it on my own, but I'd probably trust it. I would. All right. So even after all that prep work, we're re-prepped, and now we can finally start cutting some film. So we're gonna do 50. We're gonna do 50 on all the sides and the back. Do you have a video talking about a heat lamp? Yeah, but it's disguised in the Walmart videos. I don't have a long drawn out anything about it. It's if you look at the Walmart video where we messed around with the black magic film, and then the eBay, the transition film that we got off of eBay. That was pretty fun. Somebody mentioned you should put an ice cream cone in front of it, and I still want to do that really bad. So I got to get around to doing that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Update on the back window went just as bad as I expected. I'm sorry to hear that. Keep at it. These are all things that you learn over time. Lots of practice, lots of trial and error. You'll get it down. trying to figure out what squeegee this is. So like the hybrid squeegee is literally this right here. This is the Fusion hybrid. So I didn't know if you were talking about that one, but my 33 by 39 has a huge curve, so it's not easy to learn. What kind of vehicle? 50 is better than 70. Wow, there's my other one. It just depends on the person. If you want a not tinted look, 70 is great. If you want a slightly tinted look, 50 is great. Uh, 2006 4G Eclipse. Oh, you're trying to do an Eclipse? I'd have a hard time doing an Eclipse. Fun fact about the Eclipse. This is a tip from my my younger brother. He said, do them sideways. Some of you guys set the bar so high for like your first cars. I don't even know how it's like you guys should get a trophy for it. I don't get it. So it makes sense. So you see, like, it's just not something that you'd, or at least that I would normally think to do. But like on an Eclipse, it's such a tall back window, and it's not as wide. So if you flip a roll sideways, if it reaches, so you might need a special size roll or something. But if you put no, actually you should be fine. If you put the roll up the other way, then the fingers, like, it's just about shrinking on the area that gives you more space to shrink. So when you're shrinking it sideways, you have more surface area, like the side edges are much longer than the bottom edge. So you're trying to like take all that material and shrink it out towards the bottom when you can just smooth it out on the sides just like they do on the Model 3s. Problem is I need a 40-inch and I bought a 36. No! Yeah, I would have told you to buy a 36 anyways, so. Oh, what? Hang on, I gotta reline this up. It just grabbed. My first car was a, what? I had my first car, it was a Tesla S Plaid. How do you start on an S Plaid? So at the Model S, wait, what? There are? Oh yeah, they are frameless, aren't they? Teslas aren't, like the Model S is not a super hard Tesla to do. We charge similar pricing with the Model S. It's really about the Model 3. But I want to know, like, yo, dude, how do you just, like, the Plaid edition is not a cheap car. But hey, if you suffered and you got it done, then I'm proud of you. Doesn't matter if you wasted a lot of ceramic film. That's something that you just like take home to the bank. You're just like, wow, what the fuck is going on? Alright. Alright, let me do this one more time. This thing is just... Last time we did a BMW in ceramic, it started sliding. I know I put some extra soap in this, so hopefully I didn't just literally cause the same problem that I had before. That would be not good. Oh, it looks good. I make it look too easy. Well, just pay attention, and you're gonna watch this not look too easy in just a second. Super chat. Yeah. I'm gonna redo
Daniel
this.
Rayner super chatted $4.99. What's up, Tint Gangsters?
Daniel Reyna, thank you. What's up, Tint Gangsters? How you doing, man? We're gonna waste some ceramic today. No, so I added a little bit of extra soap. Just because I was getting ready, and the stuff always likes a little bit more soap. And it's already walking on me a little bit, so I gotta be extra careful on this next cut. I just wasn't expecting it. Hasn't been a problem in a minute. In your opinion, what makes the Model 3 so difficult? Have you looked at the back window? Go look at the back window. All right, let's do this again. I've been practicing with Pure Max, and it's not too nice. That's one I get asked about relentlessly. I've never tried the Pure Max. I've went to their site to get a better understanding of like the films that they have. There's like their Amazon. There's the ones on their site, which is supposed to be better, and then there's like I think the Pure Max supposed to be their better carbon. I haven't played around with it yet. I don't know. I think I'll probably buy it and finally do it. I thought you had tips on the side windows. On what? On the Model 3? Model 3, Model S, they're frameless. Just, you gotta watch a frameless video. There's no real, like, quick tips I can give you. What would be... Oh, what would be my... There we go. That's better. So the thing is about attempting something like the Eclipse is you're more than welcome to try it as many times as you... Good God, man. It keeps grabbing. Stop it. Stop. I'm going to chop that off too. It's like firm where I need it to be, and then I shift it, and then it just like catches and then starts to shift, and I need it to not do that right now. See, that's good. That's what I want to see. So I'm guessing it's just this. The there we go. That's better. Now let's get this cut. Let's put a new blade in here before we do that. So with the Eclipse, you're welcome to try it as many times as you want. You got to understand that is one of the most difficult back windows, and you're just starting. So if you can find something a little bit easier to practice on, that would be really helpful. But I mean, you're welcome to keep doing it. You'll learn a lot off of it. I just don't know how that even happens. I think it's funny because I've seen like a couple of guys. There's one guy, all he had was like difficult 90s cars. And he would he would ask me, it was like, do you, like, how is an older VW Beetle to tint, how like a Thunderbird, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with you? Stop it. Go get yourself a nice Malibu. A Malibu, a Civic, just like any regular car, even a BMW 3 Series, maybe not M Edition. It's like you learn so much off of most of the regular cars, but you gotta like, yeah, some of them are just, like that Corvette video that we did. If it's like, yeah, all I got is a Corvette to practice on, it's like, probably gonna have a hard time. But if I finally get that Corvette down, it might make every other window seem like a cakewalk. It was a real struggle to get to that point, though. It's jumping in the deep end real early. What? I just got the 24-inch Apple with keyboard. Beautiful. That's cool. I'm glad you had some help with somebody setting up your computer. That's what it's like when I go over to my dad's. The new M1 chip is pretty good for a lot. It's really interesting, the angle that they're going right now. All right, so we'll... Do you have an old video shrinking Eclipse? Yeah. Yeah, because it was a staple of one of the most difficult back windows to do. And I did it, but in that video, it's like all sped up. It's just like time lapse of that back window. And I think if I remember right, it probably took me like 25 minutes to shrink that back window. And then I just sped it up. But you can get an idea of what I did. I'd do it differently. Yeah. Like that, again, like that Corvette. I think the unedited portion was probably like 15, 20 minutes worth of shrinking, where most back windows like this we'll do in a couple. Is there any way to have ready templates rather than cutting? I know it would be more expensive, but it would be worth the time at least. Yeah, there's definitely ways that you can do that. So you can discuss ahead of time with a client what film that they want to do. The problem is people are people, and people like to change their minds. And you can also pigeonhole yourself out of an upsell doing that. So, like, this is why here's the pros and cons for it. So, if I talk to somebody over the phone and then they schedule an appointment, they got, I don't know, a Malibu or a BMW M3, and then they come in, they'd have to basically come in twice to ensure that the shades that they want are the shades that they want. And we went back and forth between 35 and 50 a little bit, and then he saw 35 on my Blazer and was like, oh yeah, what I'm thinking is probably 50. Then I'd be happier with 50. Let's do that. So if we had discussed it over the phone and pre-cut everything out, he might have wanted to change his mind at that point. And then also there's the different grades of film. So I'll have people that'll be very set on my entry, and then they'll come in here, and then they'll see the carbon. They had a little time to think about it, and then they change their mind. They're like, you know what, actually I will do carbon. Or they'll go from carbon to, you know, it's like they could just flip-flop. So I'd hate to have patterns already pre-cut out if they're going to change. So you just got to have some systems in place where you know for sure that that was the final decision. But doesn't happen very much anymore. But occasionally I would also get a phone call. I'd like get started on the car. I'd get a phone call and they'd be like, you know what? I talked to a buddy. Instead of doing 20, I want to do 20 and 35. Is that still okay? I've had people ask when I'm like almost done with the car too. At that point, I'm like, no. Not unless you want to like pay to have me redo the patterns, but that was before. That was at other places. That hasn't happened since here. I'd probably do it. I'd be annoyed though. So know that if I'm tinting your car and then you call while I'm in the middle of it, I'll be annoyed. Be annoyed if I already got it tinted. This might sound dumb, but what's the difference between NR charcoal and carbon? Not dumb at all. They have really, in my opinion, dumb naming. So NR stands for non-reflective. HP stands for high performance. So typically what you'll see is HP on metallized films. Like HP films are like metallized films typically. NR means non-reflective. So that usually has to do with dye. Dye, and it really could be with the other ones, but they don't seem to use the same NR tag for carbon or ceramic, but you could say like NR carbon if you really wanted to. It's just non-reflective. They took a name, like, this is what drove me crazy. Avery took a name like Sigma Pro, and then they changed it to NR. And I'm like, what? Why? Why would you take an actually cool sounding name and just destroy it? Shame on you, Avery. It's no good. And then they put it in brown boxes. Have you played around with your plotter much? I haven't got it yet. It's on the way. It just is taking its sweet time to travel, but it will be here. That's something I want to do on stream. And I'm still not sure of the setup that we're going to do. I've been thinking about doing like a touchscreen setup for it. It's not all going to be touchscreen, but like just a really nice clean setup. We got to make it fit in. What blades? Get NT cutter. It's got a red top. Or Olfa. I use the NT stainless steel ones. They'll be 60 degrees, so they'll look like this. Also that knife. Does the plotter come with templates? No, you're right. It is a different link or a different cost. So plotter is just the machine, and there's a whole lot of other applications besides window tinting for plotters. So they're just cutting machines. You can use them for stickers. You can use them for vinyl. You can use them for paint protection film, and then you have to pay monthly for the various tint softwares, and that's a whole nother thing. Because finding one that is good is super fun. Sun distributing. There you go. There's a link to like some blades and stuff. I thought you already had a plotter. Any idea template database you're gonna use? Yeah, I'm gonna use Film Cut. If a company told me, like, hey, film and vinyl designs, I'd throw up. I hated film and vinyl. I don't know. I'm being told certain things about the software that is reassuring, but you never know until you actually get it. And we'll see. No matter how you do it, it's not going to be quite as accurate with hand cutting. Did you not like the software or just the templates? Oh, for me, I don't care about the software. There's always little tweaks that they can make to make it more user friendly. The bulk of what you're going to be doing is literally just cutting them out. So you just click on the ones, you put them in your little cut window, you rearrange them, and then you click cut. Like that's like 99% of what you're going to do. If you have to spend time editing patterns, I hate it. Ah! Don't do that. Is Film Cut a private company? Yeah, as far as I know, they all are. Oh, I guess not. Well, I guess Expel, public company. Film Cut is through so if you go to Plotter Depot, it might look a little bit like Tint Depot. So yeah, they're connected in that way, but I don't know. I hear it's good. Is there a place to purchase pre-cut premium quality films from but PETA cars? Yeah, you can go to Tint Zoom. I'm not affiliated with them, but they're really good for patterns. Okay, it's on. All right. Now we get to finally see what we're actually dealing with here. I mean, we could before, but this is where you get to see the little stuff. So like my seal kind of stops here, or like the paneling kind of like starts here, and I gotta go all the way back there. That's not super fun. Painter's tape? No, don't use painter's tape. Use like house wrap tape or something. Painter's tape is waxy. It starts to fall off. It's not good. You want something that's, wow, look at that. You see how clean that was already? Good job. I mean, it's brand new, but still, compared to the one we did yesterday. I'm sure some software companies share their own database. Yeah, I've heard of like private labeling software and stuff like that. I know some do that with film and vinyl, but I'm not, like, I've been out of plotters for quite a while. So I used the main one. So film and vinyl, Tint Tech, Expel's DAP, and then True Cut and Computer Cut. I've used all of those, and those are all directly owned. So I haven't messed around with software since those. pretty sure Film Cut is private labeled. I've seen some other ones. Could be. Maybe they have a couple of different ones. Maybe they have a couple of different... Damn it. Yeah, that right there. Maybe they have a couple of different patterns. I don't know. I haven't touched it yet, so I can't really say for sure. There we go. So does Film Cut have a website? Yeah, go to Plotter Depot. It's on there. All right, one more time. There's just that front edge. Knocked it down just a little bit more. Should be good now. Have you thought about building something similar but better? As far as plotter software goes? Yeah, I've thought about it. It's an enormous undertaking, though. Every year you get farther and farther behind. So the real way to make patterns is to quality check them yourself. So it's not even just cutting out patterns and sending them into somewhere to scan them or scanning them yourself. You have to put in the time to recut those patterns and quality check them and make adjustments if you need to. Because I think that's where a lot of these softwares, they can scale really fast, but quality isn't there because it can't be. There's too many cars, there's too many variations, and so a company has to bring everything in-house, and they've either been doing it for a long time or they're sourcing it. So I don't know. You know, it's just, that's the way it's got to go. What's the percentage? We're 50. We're doing 50 all the way around. That's pretty good there. So this is, it really, when I get it, it's going to be real cut and dry for me. Either when I cut them out, they work, or they don't. Damn, that's light. It is, but good heat rejection. It'll have a nice, clean look to it. And why would you want to hide that interior? Let me grab and open these ones. I'm gonna use a brand new pink. Did I really just do that? Why did I put you in there? Okay. So far, so good. Is this the, what was that? Oh, Geo Ceramic? Yeah, this is Pro Nano. Not Apex yet, but still no slouch of a film. Oh, this is... Oh, spoke too soon. No, there we go. We're going down a little bit farther on these. I know... I'll try it. I'll try it eventually. So, the thing about going with a company like that is, like, it's a good way to save money too at the end of the day, but I can't trust it. There's too much at risk for me to save a couple of bucks with using a more economical carbon film. I just wouldn't feel right about it. I've seen too much fail. So that's really the end. What it would be for me. So it might do really well. It might actually be pretty good looking. How long? I'm not sure. But I understand if you use it in your business. It's just not the route that I want to go. So that's probably going to be the summary of it. Peanut butter seats? No, these are actually like bright orange. So if you bring this outside especially, like, man, these seats are crazy. Wanted to do a little bit different with the thumbnail for that. Because I'm like taking a picture of a car and I'm like, it doesn't look like just another car, but when you put it down in a small thumbnail, it starts to kind of look like just like another car a little bit. So I wanted to do something that made it stick out. These seats though, trying to take a picture of the interior with some windows or whatever is tough. All right. Yes! That's what I like to see. Interior looks like the Audi on the banner. Oh, you're right, it does. That's like spot on to it, yeah. How do you prevent crap from getting in from the bottom? You give it a good flushing. How many plotter software? There's a couple of good questions there. How many plotter softwares did you go through before you're like, forget it? The first one. And there were times that like I was forced to use one and I got used to it and it was a help. It wasn't ever like, I don't think super enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, there's times when it was like a super big help. But I'm always waiting for it to, like, gives you like a little anxiety every time you go to tint a window unless you know what you're doing. Or unless you've installed patterns for that car before. It's always like, okay, so I'm going to cut, I'm going to shrink, I'm going to weed them. Okay, not in that order. I'm going to cut out the patterns. I'm going to put them on the table. I'm going to slice them out. Cool. That's called weeding. So then you weed your patterns, and then you put them on the windows and shrink them, or you put them on a glass board and you shrink them. Cool. And then you clean the inside of your window, and then you go to install them, and that's where you're crossing your fingers. You're like, okay, I basically did everything, and I'm hoping that it's gonna now work. That's with every car, until you know that the patterns for that particular car are solid. Then they're fine. So the more the software starts to let you down, the worse it gets. It's like, you know, you're going along. I just shrunk a back window. I installed it. Oh, the corner is short. It's like, what? That's just, it becomes unacceptable really quickly. So I didn't like plotters pretty much ever. Looks like this stuff needs to be warmed up a little bit. I didn't like plotters pretty much ever when I found that kind of stuff out. But there were times that being mediocre was just part of the job. So that's where it's just like, well, you know, they are what they are. So, yikes. I forgot. I gotta put plastic on this. You need to shrink the whole film. Sorry. Sometimes you guys come up with questions that just are surprising to me. So, the idea of shrinking is you need to make the window flat. You can't just have an area that's not flat, or else it's not going to lay flat on the window. So, yeah, the whole thing's got to be shrunk. Thank you. Hang on one sec. Ta-da! Yay. So, yes, you have the short explanation is yes, you have to do the whole thing. Long explanation is I'm not shrinking the entire window in every little spot, but I'm ensuring that the whole thing looks smooth on the glass. That's what's going on. Yay, thank you for letting me know. So this thing's been pretty solid. We're on the 10 right now. I have to go back through the footage and see if there's an actual quality difference, but I don't know. It just works. I like when things just work. Do you need to use a heat gun to heat shrink? See what you did there? Do you need to use a squeegee to squeegee? And then somebody inevitably is going to say, well, you could use a torch. It's like, yeah, you could also use a campfire. Although I did see somebody light a piece of newspaper on fire and shrink a window. That was pretty awesome. I feel like there's people that watch this and they look at what I'm doing and then they just try and think of ways to do it differently, or just like, I just don't feel like using that. Do I have to? Look, dude, I don't purposefully make things difficult on myself. You could use a flamethrower. Yeah, what actually, because you said that, using good old meme cross-marketing is the Tesla flamethrower, but that time has passed. I use lots of things you do. Then why question it? Sorry, just some questions hit me in a way that's like, you're just like, but why? And I hear your question with so many other questions, and I don't pay attention to individual people all the time, so it's like, I don't know who's even asking it. It's just like, pops into my head. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? uh, like all the wet shrinking questions. It's like, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Well, the install on this is actually going really well. So that's nice. It should, though. If this was just any other BMW, this would all go fine. So there's nothing that makes this thing any more ridiculous than any other BMW that I've seen. It's pretty straightforward for a BMW. There's just the little things but it all seems to be installing fine. These quarter windows are a little unique too, so. That green shank looking real nice. Yeah, especially on this one. All right, so that's going good. I gotta do this quarter window here next. So, we look like it's on the inside a little. We'll be close. Oh, I guess not. I guess it's just angle. No, it looks like it's pretty spot on. All right. So on BMWs, typically the quarters are a little bit taller than a 36 on a back window. So when I layer this over the back, I don't think I'm going to have enough excess film to cover those quarters, so I'm just going to do this. Yeah, I don't. It's not quite tall enough. And then we're going to just cut out a piece. And then we'll split it, like everything else. But while I have it all taped up, let's just get this piece cut and installed first. Shrink sunroof? Yes. Yeah, sunroofs will be some of the most annoying windows to tint, especially if you didn't shrink it. All right, let's get this close. How much room do we have on the inside? You got basically a gasket? Huh, yeah, another roll-down style gasket at the bottom. That doesn't really matter as much because we're not tucking. You don't have to tuck all the way into it. Super duper.
John Durantini super chatted $4.99. I would drive all the way from NY to have you tint my truck, lol.
Aww. Well, John, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the 5. You could do it. We'll schedule you for Tuesday. Oh, wait, no, we can't do Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday. Thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate that message a lot. Hopefully I wouldn't let you down. There's like a weird amount of pressure with something like that too. Like, I drive so far, and I'm like, I appreciate it. Hopefully I can meet your expectations and you don't have to come back. So on this guy, we want to cut it a little bit tighter. Because we don't have a lot of space. There's like less than a 1/4 inch on the inside. It's like an 1/8 to like a 1/16. So normally a back quarter like this would give you a little bit more space, or on most cars they do. It's kind of like the Chevy Cruze. Congrats on 90K. Thank you. It's just, things moved pretty fast from like 85 to 90, so that was cool. That video with the transition film was a bit of a hit, so that was nice to see. Slowing back down now though. I just want to get my play button and then I'll never look at subscriber count again. It's my like one real YouTube recognition. Could you tint a windshield that already has a brow? Yes. You can. It's not ideal, but you can. You'll see, like, this is like nitpicky. Could you, so you're gonna just want to overlap the whole thing, but you will see a line. So if you're doing a full windshield over an existing brow, you will see like a little white line air gap on that one. It's not the biggest of problems. Like, the only person that would care is the owner. So if you want to save a little bit of money and do things that way, I wouldn't fall. I've done it for people. I don't see an issue with it on their own car. It's fine. Versus paying to have it removed, and then if they liked it, having it reapplied, it's just like, I can live with it. It's fine. That was weird. I don't know why it changed. There it is. What do you charge for just a windshield? $150. Just a windshield is a little bit more expensive than doing getting it with a car. How much? This one was $450. I think I want to get just for that little edge up there. Where did I put the pink one? There it is. I like the pink one. Is it normal? Your clay bar, is it normal clay? It's a synthetic clay. Oh yeah, quarter window's right there. 50 is real light depending on where you're looking. Why do you tape the seals? Because I want to. It helps. Think of it like putting a brand new seal on any vehicle. It just helps keep everything a little clean. There's lots of teeny tiny dirt all over the place, and yes. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Heck yeah. There we go. Sorry, there's a lot of questions. Making sure this is all lined up. This thing went in what looked like pretty frigging good. So I'm happy. Uh-oh. I'm not happy all of a sudden. Hang on. Dang it, really? That one little fucking... Ugh. Why? Why you do this? Clean it as many times as you can, and then have like the littlest of hairs just poke into the top. I can't save that. There's no way. It's too sealed in there. That literally, that little hair just ruined my entire pattern. Template, right? We can do a template now. Ah, so frustrating. That one was legitimately frustrating. Because when you have to spend that much longer on a pattern, and then a little hair lets you down like that, you're just like, really? I called a couple days ago to get my BMW tinted, so I got it tinted. Oh, nice. I hope the job turned out nice. There we go. I couldn't feel the adhesive for a second. That's freaky. Do you have experience tinting buildings? I've only done one. It's not something I like to do. They're great business, though. You could do really well tinting buildings. Architectural is huge. You'd probably make more money doing that than wasting your time on cars. Everybody that's tinting cars now is like, wait, what? It's a little bit more challenging, though, to get into architectural. Like, it's just a little bit of a different business. But you charge per square foot. Most companies charge $8 to like $15, depending on material. Like, it could be more than that, but that's just kind of like a rough ballpark for you. So, 8 to 15 per square foot. How many square feet is the job? Film's more expensive, though. It's very different. But you can do really good in flat. You do like a couple $100,000 in auto, but flat glass companies can scale into the millions pretty quickly. But I don't want to touch them. I've been doing $4 to $6 per square foot. Oh yeah, you got a lot of room to move up from there, from what I hear. A lot of talk of flat glass on the clubhouse last night. Yeah, I popped in for a little while. I didn't have anything to add to it. It's not my strong suit. It's definitely interesting. I don't really know why there's not as many people doing auto. or doing architectural. But like, I mean, there are companies that do it, but there's way more people that just do cars. And I guess all I can speak from is like the reason I don't do it, because I don't want to go to people's houses. I don't want to go to people's houses. It's kind of time consuming to like land clients and go that route. But once you get rolling, it's pretty straightforward. But talking to a couple of guys that have done auto and kind of transitioned into adopting flat into their business has been pretty cool to hear. How much do you charge for removals? Removals, I pretty much charge double my, like if you're gonna get your car retinted, pretty much just charge double the price of a standard job. That's for like full removal and retint, because it just takes me too long. The thing that killed Matt was a quarter window. Yeah, that's what I thought. We went just a little big. Templates are annoying for me. With templates, you don't have the window there, and I don't want to cut directly on his glass. This is, like I said, this is one where you have to be just a little bit more particular with. Your tolerances are pretty slight, so I'm just gonna cut out another one on here. I'm gonna cross my fingers that it fits. It fit, but it was kind of bumping the edges. I had to press it down too many times. Got a couple little specks up in the top corner that I didn't like. So we're gonna redo it again. So with template, we're just gonna slim it down just a little bit. The first one was like perfect. Second one was probably just slightly oversized. I don't really know how, because it looked damn near identical, but hey, it is what it is. What time is it? What kind of glass? It's just a storm window. It's just got a couple layers of tint. It's got an iridescent film on it. It's got a layer of iridescent and a layer of frost. Have you always used 30s? No, but I like them. You get better cuts. They're just too sharp to cut on cars with. Well, it was sharp. There we go. Breathe. Slim this down just a hair. Any upcoming projects? No, just a lot of stuff that's already being worked on. There's just glass aid scaling. Inventory. Well, I guess they're not really projects, just getting some stuff sorted out. I think the plotter's going to be the next bigger thing that we're going to be working on. So I guess that is one. Did you take the side-by-side job? I never called back. We couldn't get it done fast enough for him anyways. Eric!
Eric Whitcamp super chatted $5.
There.
Thanks for answering
Better.
my questions. Since I'm just getting started, thumbs up.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate that a lot. There's just one spot that I'm... Oh, it went down. Yes! I think I got it. How's the new GoPro? What do you think? Like, I'm actually asking, what do you guys think of the image? Does it look clean? Does it look grainy? Does it look similar? I would have no idea unless you told me. It's okay, be honest. Yes! All right, perfect. Windows like this, they're a little tricky to get in place. Like you saw the first time, we had just a little teeny tiny hair at the top. No way to save it. There's just too much in the way. It's not even worth it. Second time, the edge slightly bumped into the corner, and then I got it to stick, but then it left a couple speckles behind. No better, honestly. I don't notice any difference. Oh, this is good. Image looks good. It's a little bloomy. I like the new higher frame rate. We've been on 60 for a minute, but after looking at it on the computer, sometimes I'm not sure it's pumping out 60, whereas this one definitely is. Colors seem to be brighter. Looks smooth, if not super crisp. I like honest opinions about it. Whether or not it looks better or worse is good, because if it doesn't look better, then we'll just send it back. So this is better. This turned out really, really good. This was just one of those windows. The other side's going to be the same way. Getting everything like crystal clean up in the top is kind of the biggest challenge, but you have to make sure that your pattern doesn't bump into any of those edges because it has nowhere to lay down. So this one turned out good. Sweet. Now we can do this door.
Devon Mistakes
Hey.
super chatted $4.99. Watched your shrinking video multiple times. 7 tries later I finally got my windshield tint shrunk properly. Raised fist. GeoShield is super easy to work with.
There you go. 7 tries. Good job, man. Devin, thank you for the 5. That's awesome. Glad you got it. That's what it takes. Even after 7 tries, GeoShield's super easy to work with. That might be a hard thing for some people to understand. Like, oh, if it's super easy to work with, why'd you waste 7 patterns? Well, because even if it's easy to work with, it's tricky to learn how to shrink. Use Walmart tint for the first 5 tries. Was it tall enough? That's great. What time is it? 12:20. We're running a little behind on the next appointment. I'm gonna have to tell him to push that one off just a little bit. I think I've got a 1 o'clock appointment coming in, and I don't want to rush this one at all, so I think we gotta push that one off just a little bit. They have some rolls that are like 32. Oh! Interesting. Is sheathing tape the same as packing tape? No, it's not as good. I've used both. Sheathing tape stays thin. Like, it feels very similar, but most packing tapes don't quite grab the same way, or they'll be like a little bit more thick or something. It just wasn't as good. It'll still work and get the job done, but I've had way more packing tapes kind of like fall off, where the sheathing tape was a lot more reliable. Kind of like painter's tape. And something like this, I don't want it to fall apart on me. So, with all the extra prep and stuff that I've been doing lately, makes me feel like I'm doing just enough for this car. This is real reason why I put that much effort into everything. Is because it's almost like practice in a way. Like, even on the Cobalt, like, some people are gonna look at that and be like, it's a Cobalt, dude. But then you get something like this, and then you realize, like, oh. So, put a little extra effort into everything, and then when I had this thing parked in here, I'm like, God, my space is a mess. Do you make your own tint keg? No. No, I don't have time. Sun Distributing does. And they beef them up too. They told me something interesting yesterday. There's like little things that I wouldn't have even thought of. So something like the valve stem on the top, that's definitely added. But they have to like drill out the top to add them. And then they're like, actually, no joke, it's expensive to do because you start wearing through the bits to do it. So it's like $40 plus for like one of the proper drill bits to do it. And then they'll wear through it. Like, they were wearing through them like 12 at a time. And then changed up their process a little bit, but to get to get more tops out of them, but then it's like, oh shoot, if you got to spend $40 on a bit and you can only drill 10 of them, it just starts adding to all the cost of everything. I don't want to have to spend $40 on a drill bit just to drill out a pressure release at the top, or a valve stem at the top. This is like a weird ASMR. It would be a little bit more if I shut up. Yay! That felt like it went really good. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. When everything just kind of like slides in place like that, it's a good sign. You talking is what makes it better? Whoa. Wasn't expecting that one. Yay. Woo! Oh, dang. Is that a super? Oh, that is. There it is. Hashtag no homo. It's all good.
Down to 7SS super shattered $1.99. I've been tinting thanks to you. 30K in 3 months.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Congrats. That's 30K in 3 months. That's 120K a year. That's awesome. If it keeps up like that, then like that's assuming it's not going to grow, right? That's crazy. That dude, congrats. Thank you so much for the 2. I like that you take extra care with all the cars that you do. I used to do high-end home audio video installs, and it was always worth extra to make to be careful even if the place was a mess. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's important, especially when people are watching. So that, like the Clubhouse talk yesterday, that got brought up quite a bit actually with architectural. There's so much more that can be a problem, like little things, right? Like, you know, if you didn't put booties on your shoes, or you know, have something different, because when you're walking through somebody's home, you could be blamed for scuffing the floor, or maybe you actually do. You know what I mean? Like you're in so many rooms, all over the place. So many things could go wrong. So yeah, just like with a car, you're in, you're out of it, you're working around it with paint. Lots of things. Especially on this. Especially on a car like this. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay. I wanted to see if we can do something about the 1 o'clock. It's going to have to kind of check them in, and then they're going to have to, hang out for a minute. So hopefully they're not waiting. Just going to see if we can make sure that they're dropping off or something, because that could be a potential issue. We got Going by the pace we're going at now, we'll probably be all set here by like 1:30. There's just a couple of little things. The quarter window, as long as that goes well, and I want to spend just a little bit more time on this back window. And then who knows, something could go catastrophically terrible, and then that just makes the whole thing take 45 minutes longer. Is there some tint that you recommend to EU tinters? I know it's a little harder for you guys to get something like Geo. It doesn't make as much sense for your business necessarily. Some of the bigger companies are out there though, like Lumar, Solar Guard. I think that means Suntech. Like, I'd hit some of those companies up and see, because they're all like good film companies. Yep. No, a little too far. There we go. But I wish I had better recommendations for you. Sweet. Is global? Oh yeah, you might be able to get global over there. Yeah, global. A lot of people use QDP. Global's a really solid brand. A lot of people like global. Global, Solar FX. Those are good ones. I had my car tinted at the shop, left it a mess. Shoe dirt, mud on the inside of the car. Oh, that's no fun. I've probably done that before. Actually, I know I've done that before. Not here, though. Some places, like, it's unfortunate, man. They have just, like, concrete floors. They slam their installers with, like, I don't know, 5, 10 cars in a day. More than that, especially when you're on like a team. And it's just you don't have time. You're spraying water. The company doesn't really have drains or, the concrete floors or whatever are getting wet. They're just like in and out of the cars, tinning them. Boom, there you go, ship it out. You're kind of like put in weird positions. So that sucks. Bring me a dirty car, don't expect the tint job to be spotless. Yeah, but there's within reason to that. That was the car kind of yesterday. He got a hell of a tint job. He didn't have the cleanest car. Didn't matter. But yeah, if it's something that's been like mudding, definitely sympathize with that. Yay. This is all going pretty good at this point. That's nice. It's really the quarter window. It's of course like really a quarter window. God, man. Quarter windows can just be super annoying sometimes. This one's not even all that bad, but just gotta make sure those cuts are nice. How much longer before the plotter comes in? I got tracking this week, so I thought it was going to be this week. I haven't been following it super close. Might be early next week, though. It said there's a potential delay. It'll get here when it gets here. Then we got to block off, I guess, a day to play around with it. I didn't even know what computer I'm going to hook it up to. I don't know if I want to hook it up to the... I don't know if I'm going to hook it up to the streaming computer. Going to be a game changer with the quarter windows. That's if they have a 2022. But yeah, some of them for sure. Stuff like that, yeah, absolutely. Because it's the problem is not seeing an edge. So there's nothing super particular. It's about just getting it to fit right and not wanting to take a blade to the glass too much. So getting that to line up nice and close. Let's wipe this off, see how it looks. Use a separate computer? Yeah, I just gotta, that's a big world for me. It's like, I think a Surface is a good choice. I don't know how much money I want to spend on a machine. I'm debating on getting like an oversized touchscreen and like having a cool setup for it, or just going with a pretty standard like mouse and keyboard stand-up. Whatever I do, it's gonna have, like, you're gonna be able to use a mouse and keyboard, but I think it'd be pretty fun. All right, so I'm not gonna bother with the template. I'm just gonna try and cut this out, see how this works. $50. 50%. Go huge touchscreen. Thinking about it. I have like a small Razer laptop that I could hook it up to and then play around with the touchscreen first before I got something big. I just want to make sure that it's pretty touchscreen friendly. Because Windows is touchscreen friendly, but then there's like little things that, like, you know, if I put one finger here, can I adjust the pattern like that? I don't quite know until I actually try it. Yeah, we could hook it up to a big TV. That wouldn't have touch screen though. Try before you buy. Well, yeah. God, it'd be obnoxious to go return one of those things. But, yeah, I don't know. I got like a 12-inch Razer laptop that has touchscreen still. So I could play around with that. See how it likes that. And then if it works well, then we could get maybe like a clean, I don't think I want to get an all-in-one setup, but because you don't really need much to run a plotter. You can get like a really cheap computer and run a plotter software with very little. Where you get the carpet shield? Carpet shield. Ugh. We clicked off. Dang, you got me. Carpet shield. You know you can Google it too, right? Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those places. Lowe's, not sponsored. One of these days, we'll get the big Lowe's sponsorship. I have a Surface and the touchscreen multi-finger touch is the same. It mostly depends on which app or program you're using. Yeah, so it's one of those particular things with like, is it gonna work with Film Cut? I don't know, probably, but I don't know. I haven't even touched software yet. Don't use a USB hub. The plotter will fried after a while. What? Shut up, really? Oh, that's one of those hot tips that's just like weird. Why would it fry a USB hub? That's crazy. Dang. All right. I think at my dad's shop they're using the same junk computer that they've used for the past like 15 years. Do you ever wake up and feel like this ain't the thing you want to do? I used to. And that's why I changed things. I'm sure tinting's not for everybody that does it. It's very tedious, repetitive. I think a lot of things are like that though, but it makes good money. So, I mean, I was making better money. Just tinting. But I liked the media side too much. So I left what I was doing in order to do that more. So I'm a live streaming tint channel, but really I could be live streaming a whole bunch of other things if I knew how to do other things. I've just been doing tint for a long time. So like I genuinely enjoy calming down and tinting a car, making it look good, not being so stressed about just a high workflow and all that. Live stream your life. We do enough with the car. Too much of that would be too much. So I kind of found my like I could do this. Like people ask me when I'm gonna retire. Dude, I don't know. I love doing this. This is fun. Whew. We got it. I think we got it on the first try. That'd be super cool if that happened. Let's check this guy out. That'd be a cool way to mix it up from time to time. Day in the life vlog. It's too much work. So it's not really about changing the channel. It would literally be about doing something other than tinting. But like I said, I actually like doing this. I like being able to put enough time, work on fun stuff with the stream. I mean, we get this really cool M3 today, and I'm pretty comfortable with the amount of time I get to spend on it too. So there's parts of it that just kind of make you a little nervous. But overall, yeah, I think this is a really cool stream. I mean, I literally got to run to Best Buy yesterday and buy a GoPro as a business expense. That was super cool. Latest GoPro, is it any good? I don't know, but it's vital to what I do, so I'm going to find out. It's great. Are we doing the windshield? No, unfortunately, we're not. Is there a bubble in the corner of the small window? Where, that one? The one that we just did? There's some water there that I just pressed out. Yo. Come back. Oh my god. No, it's fine. Oh, God, that scares me. So, I've never had monitor issues before, and now I have, like, an actual monitor, and every stream, it seems to, like, disconnect and reconnect for, like, 5 seconds. I don't know why. I had a 4Runner this morning. Those back windows suck so bad. I spent a week with a 4Runner in Texas, and I know people were asking me about them. I didn't tint it at all. I was just like, I should make a video. Nah, I'm on vacation. Yeah, they're not going to be super fun. All right, so for this one, I'm a little nervous with the soak shield. Maybe the monitor is a power settings issue. I'm listening. I don't know what I would change. It's not going to sleep. It disconnects. It goes boo boo boo. Boop boo boo. This is another streamer that I watched. He had a similar issue. I don't know if he ever fixed it. But just remember, say, it would randomly disconnect. Mazda RX-8. Yeah, those ones look a little tricky. I've never actually done one. I've just never had the opportunity. Probably a little bit more tricky. Just don't drown it. We aren't gonna drown it. He did specially ask though. He was like, he's not. This guy was being super cool about everything. He was like, I know it's a wet application. I was just wondering, is there anything you put back there to like cover up the speakers or something like that? I'm like, I gotcha. Don't worry. We'll put some stuff back there. The fake 3M that I got bubbled up kind of weird. Well, if it's fake. Okay, so most films, if it bubbled up rather than shrink side to side, I kind of know what you're talking about. You might have been shrinking it the wrong way, but if you were shrinking it the right way, I don't know. I was talking about the... Oh, somebody else was asking. Okay, so I gotta grab my push stick, and I gotta make sure this rope, because it's had a surprising amount of room at the bottom. It has far less space on the side corners like a windshield would. What white tape do you use? Glass Aid. It helps protect the glass too. My tint software doesn't have multi-finger touch. No! I'm assuming most of them don't, but I want to get a touchscreen and see. Even dragging and dropping patterns a little bit would be helpful, but yeah, manipulating them, like making them a little bigger or whatever, like, yeah, I don't think it's something we're going to do much anyways, but... Where, right there. Did you pre-order the iPhone 13? Are they up for pre-orders yet? I think me and my wife are gonna get them. We're still discussing. Were you cutting on the glass aid? Yeah, typically halfway point, something like this, I cut a little bit closer to the inside edge. It all depends on how much room you have to work with. This one, pretty decent. I just want to be a little tighter on the bottom. So the way to look at it is glass aid is 1/4 inch wide. You line the edge up with the inside of the dots. Or, no, actually the outside, sorry. It's like I put the edge of the glass aid literally on the edge of the dots. So just connect both those edges. So when you cut in the middle, you have like a 1/4 inch overlap. But it depends on what's going on in here. So I got plenty of room on the sides here. See that? I could leave a 1/2 inch gap there and I'd be totally fine. Down at the bottom, the way I have it set up with like this towel and stuff, I want to be a little bit tighter, especially with that rope. So I'm gonna get my push stick that I hid in the trunk. We already have most of this already prepped, ready to go. So we're making up some time because we spent so long doing that elsewhere. Awesome explanation. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, so if the glass aid wasn't there, I'd do the exact same thing. I'd cut like a 1/4 or an 1/8 of an inch border. There it is. Look at this. Whoa. You don't even have to close it. You just press the button. They've been doing that for a while, though. See, I just want to make sure this is far enough out of my way that it's not going to be a problem. Those corners on windshields are the worst. So. Ha! I think we got it. Okay. It's really, see, you can see why I like the other type of towel, but it wasn't suitable for this. Don't want to trip on those. I have the towel with the rope. I'm not using it on this one right now. It's not a great option for the back. But I don't recommend. I use it. I don't recommend people spend money on it. Mine's falling apart. It's falling apart really fast. It's totally not worth the money. They just need to refine it. The idea is amazing. They just need to refine it. Because like the materials are starting to fall apart. The towel itself is starting to fall apart. The rope was breaking off from the very beginning. Like just a whole bunch of little problems. So it all still kind of works, but it's like 125 bucks for the setup, and yeah, just it's not working. When you pop the blades and it lands on the floor, it gives me anxiety. I guess you wouldn't have been very fond of working with me in a shop then, because I didn't have this floor where they kind of like fall in between. They're just all laid on the ground. Blades littering the floor. I'm gonna take this off here. It's a long tinter habit that I've just always stuck with. Some people have little like snapper pouches and stuff. Those work. Those work well. It's my shop, bro. Detailer clay? Yeah, it's a synthetic clay. Works really well for cleaning schmutz off of back glasses and defroster lines especially. Oh, I hate these towels. I mean, I love Soak Shield. I hate the way towels sit in general. They're never... you just want them to lay as flat as possible, and they just never do. Alright, one more time. It's amazing how not clean things can look. Even if they... Oh, yeah, totally. So, like, that's one reason why we adopted using clay bars. I had a couple sitting around and decided to use it on a back window. I didn't have a scrub pad, so I'm like, nah, let's try a clay bar. What? What is all this crap? So, I quite like them now. Alright. So, no matter how you cut this, like, towels on the seat, things start shifting around. Doing my best here. Maybe one day I'll start floating. Let's cross our fingers real hard, boys. What do you think? It's a pretty simple BMW back window, though. So, but that's when things can go horrifically wrong. Do a little shuffle. Head tilt. That interior is beautiful, isn't it? It's just wild, man. Like, the outside looks... there's some accent pieces and stuff on it that look really sick. It's definitely got a different styling altogether, but that inside is like... it is made to stand out. Alright. Problem. This is why I didn't want to do a soap shield, but hopefully... I'm gonna I'm gonna remove my deck lid before I drop it off there. Yeah, we'll try and cover up things as best as I can. The thing is, there's this balance between, like, it's a wet application, so I have to spray water, and I try to keep everything as covered up as I can too. So I'm really conscious about the amount of water that I'm spraying, but you know, if I have to do this thing twice, I really don't want to have to spray the same amount of water twice. Oh, come on, don't even dare. All right. Oh, shit. There. I think we gotta start squeezing this out. 50 is a light shade, man. There. So I don't know. Just doing a couple little things at request, but you can see why why I kind of like will loosely throw a towel back here and just knock it out instead of sometimes like you could have put carpet shield underneath the towel, but you're not soaking up the water. It's just kind of like it's causing it to run in other places, where on the doors it just runs onto the floor. Here it's going to run into other parts of the interior. You need a towel to kind of soak that up. I hope that went down. All right. Where's my trusty green? Because if we don't get this one down the first time, we're just gonna have to pull it and then just do our best. I don't think there'll be any issues with it, but these corners, that's where I tried to get this out of the way as much as I could, but they like to curve the deck up. Overall, you're doing as best as you can. Doing good at covering. Thank you. There's got to be a better way, though. Alright, ignore that sound. Okay. We might be good. I suppose we should probably clean off the outside and see what's going on. Up there, we can trim. There's that little bubble right there. Hopefully it's loose. Right here. It looks loose. A little farther.
Jet 612 super chatted $1.99. Sorry I'm late.
Oh. Shit. Good God, man. T-Jet, thank you. Ugh. Sorry, I'm having A little bit of a fun time here. What I don't want, I just got to squeegee off the outside and check. What I don't want is for it to just start locking up in a really dumb spot. So everything on the top is fine right now. What's throwing me off is honestly that rope in the bottom. Those corners. I'd have this squeegeed out much quicker if I wasn't fumbling around with that bottom. Just, that's why you see so many of them just in, squeegee. Yes, there's water. Typically everything's fine, but I totally understand trying to cover up some of this extra stuff. But it clearly can impact the job. You just got to get it out of the way as best as you can. And even then, they just don't give you a lot of room. Those hard to reach areas, those are the parts where you're going to screw up the most. So it's looking really good. Just don't want to speak too soon yet. And then I got to pull the rope. That's the last thing that'll freak me out. Because here, especially in those corners, I can't leave that rope in there for all eternity. So, where's that? There's one little right there. Oh, right here. Downside to the soak rope, I know. So, we have a tool that we might be able to use that I dogged on last stream. Maybe this guy? So it was suggested to me. This might work. This is the Slim Foot, Big Foot, Foot. So, the trick is getting that film to not pull back. Ha! Yes! Ah, good. Okay, one more. Sorry, I'm excited. Because really, it's like, it can hook on the corner, and it can just kind of... Ha-ha! Screw you! This guy. I never use him, ever. But for this, like, I just wish I had a rubber edge on it, that's all. It's got a hard plastic edge. Still handy, I guess. But I don't know, I've never used one much at all. But you could see, a tool like this, so glad that worked. Sorry, I just really didn't want to redo this. Yeah, so a tool like that, I'm never going to hardly ever use, but when you need it, you need it. So I'm glad that I had it. Because I just didn't have anything else that's going to quite reach down there. All right, so these tabs come a little bit farther down than I thought they did. So we're just going to cut that out. Yes, peeling the corner of the film takes a little bit of practice. I'll nibble on it. So I'm not really, like, you kind of like shift it with your teeth, but you're not biting it. All right, let me wipe this down, but I want to double check everything. I mean, looks like it turned out pretty good. I think everything is all is all squeegeed out. That's my second like biggest concern is like when you're kind of sitting there, the film's tacking up. There could be any spot that just kind of decides to like lock in some air. And then once it's locked in, that's it. The only way to get it out is to literally peel the film back and then spray it. This is the OG Soak Shield towels. Still using it. Whereas the other towel is already within a little bit failing. These things, man, I tossed them in with some yellow towels by mistake, and now my tint whiz towels are a little yellow. No good. Okay, let's get organized. So these, the big items, we can put this one over here. Clay, right there, panel stick. And we still, I need to put I think I'm going to leave it for a little bit. He's picking up the car a little later. I'm going to put the last of it is the third brake light. So we got a little bit of touch-up work and then third brake light. I'm just going to do that after I know that top is all set. So he's going to pick it up just a little bit later today. I'm going to let it dry first before I put it on. Stand back, admire the job. Looks like it turned out pretty good. These things, I'm gonna run something down the bottom one more time. Maybe one of these. Should do it. Once with the microfiber on the license plate. Oh, I've just had, this wasn't a special request, but I've had like a couple of people that have been in here. Like they're like, I'm fine with it, but I know some people wouldn't be. So covering a plate that we're going to be streaming, I don't know. I just saw this one sitting there and took a couple seconds, so I covered it. That blue stitching on the seatbelts. Yeah. And look at the calipers on these things. Like, look at these wheels. These wheels are nuts. Those calipers especially, like, good God. That's crazy. This thing is sweet. Let's see what we got to touch up. Does it feel less lonely to have a stream on when you're working? Yeah. But I've worked in noisy shops with lots of people for as long as I can remember. I like leaving something on that I'm trying to learn, or YouTube, music, whatever, and I can just focus on what I'm working on. It's nice. But yeah, one of the reasons that I really like the stream is because it very much is a hangout type environment. So this is not exactly what you get out of a shop, but like when you're working with other people, you know, you guys are like dogging each other or just whatever. What's better, stream or music? I like putting on live streams if I can, but the topic's got to be kind of interesting for me to watch. There aren't very many. There's one person that I really liked watching their live streams. They don't stream anymore. They do more videos right now. Woo! Dang, dude. I think this thing turned out pretty good. Oh, wait, let me make sure this is up. So it looks maybe a little bit lighter in person. It's kind of hard to tell on that screen over there, but you can definitely see the interior. You can see all the orange accents for sure. That makes it feel a little brighter. And then that's compared to nothing on the windshield. So that windshield's going to meter at about like an 85%. So there's clearly a difference. But yeah, 50 is not going to give you a dark look at all. Whew, looks good. Dang. Happy with the way this thing turned out. Very, very good. Like, on the one hand, it's just a BMW 3 Series, but on the other, with the materials that they use, the way people look at these cars, it turns it into something that you got to be a little bit more careful about for sure. So, hope we did that today, and gave it like a little extra touch. Whew, it was good. Let me give a sip of coffee. Let me see what's going on with the other appointment. Canon. Wah! So GoPro. Well, that worked. Sweet. I have a battery in here. I gotta do some comparison. Ooh, real quick, actually. I'm gonna do horizon lock. So there's two modes. There's wide, and then there's linear with horizon leveling. So what I wanted to do was see what that kind of looked like. Oh, these little flappy things suck. So 1 second. Do they tint or vinyl for taillights and stuff if you consider extras? Yeah, they do, but taillight tint is very much like vinyl wrapping. So I haven't wanted to do that. Okay, so Canon, real quick. So the idea here, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm guessing it would work well in certain situations, but it might be too close. I just wanted to grab some footage really quick before I end stream. So horizon leveling on a GoPro, it keeps everything level, so when I tilt my head back and forth, it's fixed. It's really kind of cool. So we'll see. So like, I'm bobbling my head left and right now. So if I was like running around, kind of working on the car, I noticed a couple of things before I even tried it that I don't know if it would quite work out. But like if I'm like looking over here, looking over there, if I'm I don't know if it would work quite as well for like jumping in the car. Oh, and did you notice the little M3 badges on the seats? They glow. Super cool. But while I have a car in here, I definitely wanted to. Whoa! You see that? See that little tweak right there? That's probably where it wouldn't work so well. Plus, I wonder how close. Like, so I'm mostly like here when I'm working. So like if I'm tinting, I should have done this for like an actual window and seen if this was like too close or anything. I don't know if it would be. Okay. Well, that was just a thought. Canon. Cool. Now I got something to look at afterwards. Ah. What ceramic scent? We did 50% GoPro Nano. Plotter next week, I think. Either later this week or early next week. It's not here yet, though. I don't have it. Or else there'd be a big box here. There'd be a big box here that I'd be opening up right now. Let's see what they said. Oh, they're coming at 1:30. Okay, perfect. All right, I got another client that's going to be here. They're coming at 1:30, so they're going to be here in like 8 minutes. We're getting a workhorse, like a 53-inch workhorse. We'll play around with that. Okay, so we're going to shout out some super chats. T-Jet, down to 7. Devin, Eric, John, Daniel, Samuel. Thank you guys so much for all the supers today. I greatly appreciate the support. Oh, that looks cool. Sorry, I'm watching my own video back. How much do you make a day? It changes drastically per day. And the business is still pretty new, so it's hard to say from like month to month because it's like, right now it's like up and down. I thought I heard the door. Okay, well, I'm gonna sign off here. I know I got another appointment coming in. Just wanna make sure everything, I still got this brake light and stuff to touch up on here. So thank you guys for tuning in today. It is Friday. So there's a good chance there'll be a stream tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a good chance there will be. So keep the subscriptions on. Don't turn those off. Forgot to mention, only problem with the GoPro is the bitrate can't catch up with your floor. It could be a problem. Yeah, there's a lot of like crisscrosses and funny stuff there. We're not streaming the next card today, but probably Saturday. Alrighty, guys. You have a good one. I'm a little toasted. I need to eat something, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow then. Hope you had fun. Bye-bye.